Cody here. Welcome to another Motor Monday, where today we're going to show you our English motor. It's a throttle fed Lister. Not exactly sure when it's made. We're probably thinking somewhere between the 1920s and 30s. It's a weird funky little thing. It has one flywheel, just a simple carb like we've seen before on the hit and misses. I actually don't know too much about it, but you know a little bit more about it than me.
To start with, when the Lister first started on the carburetor, they did not have a float chamber. So you had gravity feed from the fuel tank into the carb, and the only adjustment was with your jet. And so you didn't open the jet until you were ready to crank it. You cranked it, and then as the gas dropped in the fuel tank, you adjusted the carb because it was going to feed it no matter what. And so then Lister finally got smart down the road and decided to add a float chamber so the gas would stay consistent. But rather than remake the carburetor, they just added a float chamber on the side and plumbed it up on the bottom where the other gas line had gone. Yeah, I guess that was a cheap way to go. It does work. The other thing is, it's a half crankshaft, so the rod bearing is a complete circle. There's no rod cap. The end of the rod's just completely round. So it's just a half crank that goes on, and the rod goes on a pin. It is water cooled like most of the other old ones, with a hopper in the top. It does not have atmospheric intake. Both are valve springs and push rods in here. The grease cup here greases the rocker arm assembly. The only other thing I can tell you about a Lister, other than it's run by a magneto on this side, is that this is a water petcock release to let water out of it, and this one seems to have problems because we got water in the oil, and so it ruined the rod bearing. So we're going to have to take it apart, put a rod bearing in and put it back up. However, we pretty much figured out after a little research that the Lister, the petcock that let the water out, was an inch off the bottom, and so you still had an inch of water in it while it was after you drained it. So if that froze, then you cracked it, and that's what's happened to this one. So I'll have to go in and fix the crack and then turn around, and I think I'll restore it and do the valve. It's got plenty of compression, runs pretty good. You'll hear the valve knock like crazy. The rod knock like crazy. But yeah, I'm going to put a new rod bearing in it anyway. This is
Yes. So what's that Dumaflachi?
That is the governor. Comes up here to the carburetor, and I've got it sitting to idle real low. I'll rev it up one time. That's the magneto, and of course your starter goes here. He'll back up a minute, and then I'll crank it. We'll see if I can do it. They say to. All right. Let's see if it'll crank it. You can hear the rod bearing in it, but
Alright guys, well that's the end of today's Moto Monday. That was our lister. I mean, besides the rod knock and in need of paint, it actually is a good running motor. Plan to restore it, throw it on a cart, and actually take it to shows. It's because it's just a really neat motor that you don't see very often, but that's all we got for you today. So if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you have any more questions about it, give me a comment down below and I'll get back to you. And if you like my content and want to see more of it or more of our motors, go ahead and subscribe. I'm doing this series every week on Monday. So I'll catch you guys later. See ya.